Well, hello.
Hey,
Welcome,
Kelly. Hey, everybody.
welcome,
Hello,
welcome.
everyone.
We're at episode 4 of the Digital Factor, your fastest
Woohoo.
way to digital. I'm happy to be here with the three amigos, my colleagues, Vic Sharma, Jim Falatico, and John Maniatis. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thanks, Kelly.
And
Pleasure.
welcome back. Happy New Year. If it's can we still say Happy New Year,
Yeah, I
guys?
think so. I think so. We got a
Yeah.
few days still.
All right. Let's just say the cutoff is the 31st.
Awesome.
Very good.
Yeah. So if you're in business, the first social media app that you probably think about is the one we're live on right now, LinkedIn, right? I don't think it's even in question. LinkedIn has over 740 million members and with over 55 members registered as businesses. So that's pretty impressive. But there's another social media app that I think deserves some attention, and that's Instagram. And one of the things that I learned in doing the research here is that Instagram actually has over 1.07 billion members. I knew that. But what I didn't notice is that they had 200 million business accounts. So that's almost four times that of what we're seeing on LinkedIn, which caused me to stop. I'm like, hey, maybe they know something that I don't. Let's start to think about that. And so I'm really excited. I would say probably going into it, it's like I'm not really sure that Instagram is really necessarily for business, especially those who aren't doing B2B. But I came out of it different. I think that as you stay on and listen to this live cast, you'll walk away with some companies who are doing it well and maybe some insights of that you can use for your actual business to drive engagement and Instagram followers. So with that, John, I'd love to turn it over to you.
Thanks, Kelly. You know what? Similar to you, I wasn't necessarily convinced right at the beginning, but I love this topic. I am a convert. Clearly, we're not, I would say Instagram isn't number one yet, but it is top three among B2B marketers right after Facebook and LinkedIn. And the popularity of Instagram is not stopping. The polling is just showing that. And the reason I'm excited about it is because of all the tools and touch points that Instagram has. You can post your products, you can post your services, you can post white papers, infographics, blogs, you name it. These are the types of things we all know through our experience that build trust and drive traffic back to your website, which is what it's all about if you're a business. And the other huge thing that's happened over COVID, we all know this, is that e commerce sales have gone through the roof. Instagram is perfect for e commerce sales because of the product tags they have and because of the efficient way they allow you to buy products on their application. So, bottom line, if you're not on Instagram and you're a business, you're really missing out on some key brand building, I would say reputation management and client loyalty opportunities. And if you're not there, I can probably guarantee your competitors are there. So you really want to get on top of this. Now, before I hand it over to my digital factor colleagues, I did want to leave you with a quick tip, bit of advice on how to set up your business for success. I would say the first thing you got to do is really track down some Instagram intelligence on your target audience. On Instagram, what does your target audience want? What's the content they're looking for? What are the hashtags they use and follow? And what accounts do they follow? Document all of that. Then make some really serious notes on what your targets want in terms of like what gets their most attention, what gets their engagement. Note that kind of thing. And now here's lastly, I would say here's your opportunity. How can you look different in front of that target audience? How can you grab their attention? So with that, I want to hand it over to Jim, who's going to tell you a little bit about some a particular company that you know that does a great job of executing on Instagram. Over to you, Jim.
Thanks, John. So, yeah, when we talked about this, we wanted to highlight some companies that we thought were doing a good job. And the one I chose is kind of a strange choice, I guess, because especially with folks in our generation, they're known as Big Blue. I'm talking about IBM. And they're kind of a dinosaur. Their reputation for older folks is one of very slow moving and dinosaur like, right? Very very um, buttoned up and that kind of thing. Well, the new generation, younger generations, don't necessarily know that history. And IBM has done a great job of kind of reinventing themselves for those generations. And that's why when you see their page on Instagram, 451,000 followers is pretty darn good for a B2B company. And I'd take 451,000 followers on my post, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they have 451,000 followers, and they do a great job of not just having nice images, um, which is kind of how Instagram started. But they tell stories using video. They have their employees telling a story. That first one there is Adriana. She tells how she went to a trade show, met with separate IBMers, and really got involved and really loves working for the company. So that helps build IBM's brand kind of from within without Big Brother telling you what it's all about. She's telling why she likes the company so well. And there's several of videos like that. There's also videos from end users, their clients that use the product within their services, and how well it works for them, and they tout the product again, building that brand for IBM. IBM's not building it; the customers are building it. And lastly, they're using influencers. If you scroll down, Eli Manning is on there talking about how the NFL uses Watson for stats for the NFL. And so it's all about building the brand and getting people to kind of join the community and using employees, using your clients, and then using influencers like Eli Manning helps um, bring that around and build that community for IBM. So again, kind of a strange company to say is on the cutting edge of Instagram for business, but I think they do a great job. What do
Yeah,
you guys?
definitely impressive, Jim. I mean, I think we've all grown up with IBM, and we know how many fingers and how many pies they have. But these circles that Kelly's highlighting right here, their Instagram reels and stories that they've saved. Look at the variety of topics. I mean, that was impressive to see. It goes from sports to Watson to cultural moments within the company. Really impressed how they try to show their diversity, and they do it in a creative way on Instagram. So impressive.
Yeah, and to add to John, what you're saying, right? I would say to remain relevant, right? You need to be where your customers hang out, and I think it's nice that you're sharing the rich history as well. So for anyone who's new, they get a sense of it's not a company that started 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think, I used to work for IBM. I don't know, I guess it's a well-known fact, or maybe little. It feels like forever ago. But, it was Big Blue. It was kind of stodgy. It was, wear suits and that kind of thing. But they've really shown that they've been able to evolve and stay relevant with a new generation of people, which everybody has to do. So impressive. Impressive. Great pick, Jim. Yeah. Okay, I think next we're going to go to something that's a little more traditional here. So we started with something old. Let's go with something a little new. How
Yeah.
about it? I know this is an e-commerce brand. So, John, I think it's
Sure.
yours, right?
Yeah, thanks, Kelly. I'm excited about this one. It's a little known Canadian company called Herschel Supply Company. The reason I'm excited is my kids love their products. They sell sort of retro design, high quality backpacks, travel goods, accessories, and things like that. And the reason why I love what they do and how they do it is because they do one thing really, really well. They focus on their product. As Kelly scrolls down on the page here, you'll see every single post has their product in it. It'll have somebody very stylish actually using the product, but sometimes it's just about the product itself. And you'll see that it's the photographs themselves. You can click on them and they'll take you straight to the site. Sometimes they'll come up with a description about the product. Sometimes they'll show a description and the price, but everything revolves around the product and people using the product. Like you see in this video, you get a nice scene, but really it all flows right back to that product. And there's something to be said for focus. So that's why Herschel's being successful. And I think they're a great example of how product focused companies should take advantage of the tools that Instagram has to offer. What do you guys think?
I like up here similar to what you saw with the IBM. If I'm looking for an insulated bag, I could, go straight here and look for what's relevant to that. So I like that a lot. I feel
And,
like,
and
cool stuff.
Hmm.
yeah, and like here's another platform to sell your product, right? You don't have to go to their website, right? You don't have to remember their URL or link. You just come to Instagram, John.
Yeah,
Beautiful
absolutely.
pictures here.
And if you notice, they had 1.1 million followers, so it's definitely a B2C,
Hmm.
and it's a direct to C, right? A D2C. So one of the things that we hadn't mentioned yet, but the reason you don't see the shopping is this is not mobile. So on your mobile device, you'll definitely be able to go right to a shopping cart and purchase this, which is awesome. And so they make it as easy as possible to go right to purchase. Um, and obviously that's what it's all about is building that community and then getting them to buy. And they do a great job of doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, we have two down. I think we have two more to go. But before we do that, I'm just going to poke some holes into your argument. So, what you've shown me before was an old company that people know the brand straight away. And you've shown me an e-commerce company. But if I'm a business owner and I sell services to other businesses, convince me, Vic, that this is actually an app that I should use. What say you, Vic?
Yeah, so let's talk about that, guys, right? So, sometimes business drives adoptions and sometimes consumer drive adoption. So, in this case, right, I would say consumers have driven adoption of Instagram and now business is following. So, the company that I selected is a company called Mailchimp. And for those who are not familiar with Mailchimp, it's an email marketing platform and, mainly used for managing email marketing campaigns, right? So, what I find fascinating about MailChimp is the use of video stories to build a MailChimp brand. And let me explain that, Kelly and team. And of course, all our friends who are watching as well, right? So, Kelly, as you start scrolling down here, right, um, you're going to see that a lot of content that's here on this
Hey, Vic,
page here.
can you just hold just a second? I'm getting a little
Sure.
bit of feedback. John, maybe try pulling back from your mic. Yeah,
Hmm.
thanks. Okay, go
Okay.
ahead.
All right. So what I was saying, what I find interesting about Mailchimp is the use of video stories to build their brand, right? And what's interesting is that a lot of the stories that are here are created are user generated, are created by the customers, right? What a great way to kind of promote your brand by having people who use the product, the services, talk about that. But so um, Mailchimp has a series called the Roadmap. So as you're scrolling down here, Kelly, you're going to see something called the Roadmap here, right? So if you click on here, right, here is a customer sharing their story, and they're very emotional, inspirational, engaging, and really, most importantly, very real, right? And to business owners, very relatable, because they range from people sharing their entrepreneurial journey, and like in this case here, a person was very frustrated and was told that you can make it happen, to how they succeeded, to really then sharing tips on things like how to grow your business, right? And the road stories, one thing about it, they're not, there's no mention of Mailchimp in here, right? So um, now, MailChimp, so you have the user created content, and then MailChimp also creates content to promote their products and services, but they do it mainly through education. And this series is called Master Class Minis. So, Kelly, if you're looking at them, you can see, here's one on, hey, listen, you have inventory that's left over. How do you, move it, I guess, in the market, right? Some sharing tips. So again, the format is video. The advice is practical and focused on the customer pain point, right? And the tips that they're sharing are simple, easy to follow, And when we watch these videos, they're fun to watch, right? So in marketing, we talk about this need to understand your customer, understanding their customer journey and mapping this journey, right? And I have to say, when I look at this page here, Mailchimp has nailed it, right? There's no direct selling. It's just education. It's just advice, right? But they're using storytelling in a very effective manner to engage their audience and really to start the conversation, right? So whether you are just starting out or you're managing a large business, there's something that they've done that keeps you coming back to this. So I'd like to get
Yeah.
your guys.
I think you've done a good job of highlighting them. One of the things that I love about what you highlighted is just that, like, if I know I want to do this e-commerce series, all of they look they all the branding of it is just brilliant. They all have these circles with the person that's going to talk about. They tell me what the master class is going to be on, and I can just go straight to this. Same with the roadmap series, and I'm seeing the same thing with this 2022 e-commerce resolutions. So really just like the branding and the layout of all of it, it's really smart.
Yeah, take the guesswork out completely, right? You know what you're looking at. So it's a great point.
Vic, you know what? I love the fact that a lot of times on Instagram you'll just see a picture as a post. Mailchimp clearly loves video and understands the kind of engagement you get with video. I think every single example we saw was a video example. So they're really using the tool to educate, but also to inform and build their brand. And it's interesting for an email marketing company, right, to always use video on Instagram. So very
Yeah,
cool.
and if you think of it, if a picture is worth 1,000 words, what's a video worth?
Great.
Well, that's a perfect segue to the company that I chose. They are all about video. And so they're action video company. And I chose them just because honestly, I think that they do it really, really, really well. And so my company is GoPro. And so GoPro, I think their target customer is outside adventurers in extreme sports. And I think though sometimes those people have a finite amount of money that they want to spend, and they are choosing between, do I want a video camera or do I want a still camera? And they're saying, if you buy us, you can do both. And they do it honestly without any word. It's all any words. It's all about visuals. And so let me show you that. Just to that point. Here's one. This one is new. It just came up. It's so cute. So, and if you look here, cuteness overload, and then they have the hashtag overload, almost cuteness, wildlife photography. So love that, and but really smart use here because again, I told you what they're trying to do is to show that they're a quality camera as well. So very effectively, they have some still photos. I'll show you another one here in a minute that's just captivating. Here's a great video where you just really feel like you're there, and then you're like, oh wow, this is amazing. Where can
Wow.
I go to experience this? Well, Hawaii. Okay, let's book a flight.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, the use of hashtags here, absolutely amazing. And then this was an example of a picture. There are two pictures I want to show you. This one is just stunning, right? It's just a great picture. And to me, when I was looking at this picture, one of the things I said was, not all the time can your mobile camera capture these extreme experiences because you might not want to bring. It's too risky to take your camera there and have it fall out, right? Your mobile device. So this is a perfect example of why you would want this. And then the other one, if I can find it real quick, is here. I just thought this is just an amazing picture. So guys, your thoughts on GoPro?
So Kelly, one thing I noticed, right, was on the community, right? Like when you watch the first video, it was all about join the community, right? So you don't have to do it alone, right? People who have the similar interests, right, can collaborate together virtually. So I thought that was very interesting.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Jim.
Well, I was going to say that it's interesting because it's 19 million strong community, right? So they have to, they're all part of one community, but they can subset that using those hashtags, right? So people that are really into pandas or really into waterfalls or really into skiing or whatever it is, they can find what they're looking for really easily. And once they do, you go down that rabbit hole and you're watching videos for hours because that it's just so fun to watch. It really creates that community, it creates that trust, and the clients are selling for them as opposed to GoPro pushing their brand down someone's throat. So I think it's a great way to sell a product and build that community.
Speaking of going down a rabbit hole, Instagram is really effective. I want to say I think it's the most effective social media platform out there in understanding the algorithms and who really wants to buy your product. I don't know how much time you spend on it, but whenever I go on Instagram, I have an ad and it's so effective that I find myself in the checkout line. Like it's like I don't know who's doing that for them, but kudos to Instagram on that. And also, if you're thinking about, hey, I have a little advertising money I want to spend, and I maybe haven't had the success that I was hoping for in Facebook, Instagram might be your, might be for the win for you. So think about that. Hey guys, we are, believe it or not, at time. I do want to thank you guys. This we could probably spend a whole bunch of time looking at other ones, but I hope we've convinced, and if we have, share your thoughts on if we've convinced you that Instagram is in fact for business, and let us know what you're planning on doing. I know going into it, I was a naysayer, but now I'm a believer. So there will definitely be. I do think, though, just in fairness, if all you want to do is post those square pictures, like I would suggest, you can still do it to raise some brand awareness, but you're not going to be as effective as if you were doing the reels and doing some of the videos. So try to incorporate some of that. Just if you're somewhere, just think of something that you could do to incorporate your brand and moving your message forward. Now, next month, episode 5, we've decided on a topic. I believe, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong, we're going to be going over GA4. That's Google Analytics 4 and what you need to know for your business. So that's exciting. If you don't know what Google Analytics 4 is Google's new analytic product. And I should have parenthetic new, because they really rolled it out last year. And so it is something that we think you should definitely be aware of. So we're going to cover that. Any thoughts from you guys? Oh, I know. We always end with a question, and I'm putting you guys on the spot. Did you have a New Year's resolution, and if so, what was it? I'll start. I have a New Year's resolution, and should be of no secret. It's Peloton focused. So I have a certain number of rides I'm trying to get, and a certain number of minutes that I want to spend on different Peloton content. And I've actually started their strength program. So the guns will be out.
Look out.
Who's next? Who wants to go quickly?
On the same topic, it's funny, but the COVID-19 thing is for real. I don't know if I put on 19 pounds. I didn't weigh myself, but definitely got to get back on the exercise front. And it's a little tougher to do in Canada with all the inches of snow we have out here, but definitely started.
Good.
Mine too. It's just about walking and jogging more.
Yeah, you've been doing hikes with your wife, right?
Oh yeah. We love it.
Good.
Yeah, and for me, guys, it's I'm not a New Year's resolution person, but it's just always about every day is a new day. So for me, it's just make it happen.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, guys, all right. Episode 4 is a wrap.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. And
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
join
everyone.
us again in next month is February. Wow. All right. Join us in February. Take care.
Take care, guys.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.